Everybody, this is Eddie, aka DJ Deluxe, from the Road Less Travel. Me and the wife about to head to Assateague Island. So this is the first time I'm recording riding two up, so I'll give you my feedback on it once we get on the road. But listen, I'm in Millsboro, Delaware. If you've never been to Longneck Diner, definitely check it out. Great food. Coming from New Jersey myself, where I think it's, like the diner capital, this one is definitely good. But let's get on the road, man. Me and my lovely wife. Say hi to the king. I'll be head to Assateague Island in Maryland. We got about a 50-minute ride. Check out Longneck Diner, man. Great. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the Road Less Travel. This is Eddie, aka DJ Deluxe. And first and foremost, excuse me, man. I set out riding and I forgot to attach my microphone, so I have to talk. Place this talk track over my ride. But today I'm, starting out at Longneck Diner here in Delaware, and I'm heading down to Berlin, Maryland, and over to Assateague Island National Seashore Park. So again, I'm riding my 2024 Can-Am Spyder RT Limited, and today I just wanted to focus on riding two up. As you can see in the beginning of the video, I have my wife with me, right? And those of you who don't know, two up is just riding with a passenger, right? And I want to talk about how that changes the feel of the bike compared to riding solo. I also want to talk about a couple of upgrades I've already done, and I mentioned them in other videos, but I want to talk again about them here. And one big upgrade I'm about to install, and that should make a difference for me, right? So, riding solo versus riding two up, right? When I'm riding solo on my Spyder, right, it already handles really well for a touring bike. But when I add my wife to it as a passenger seat, in the passenger seat, I can immediately feel a difference. Not riding straight, it feels, I don't even feel it back there when I'm riding straight. But the bike feels a little heavier in the corners, when I lean into turns. It tends to dive a bit more, meaning what I mean by that is the front end dips slightly as the weight shifts. And that's completely normal, right? Extra weight changes the suspension dynamics, especially in the front, right? The RT Limited is built for two-up touring, so it's very stable, but the handling can feel a little bit softer and more relaxed when you're carrying a passenger. So if you're like me and you like a sportier or more planet feel, that's where the upgrades come in, right? Do you need them? No. But if you like that sportier feel, yes. So one of the first upgrades I did was the Baja Ron Sway Bar and the Sway Bar links, right? And I got that from Sling Mod, and I talked about that in another video, right? The stock Sway Bar on the Spyder works fine, but it allows a little more body roll in the corners, especially with a passenger, right? So the Baja Ron Sway Bar is stiffer, and if you could read from their site, it's made from a solid piece of spring steel. So what that means, it can help reduce that leaning or float feeling in the turns. And it makes the bike feel more planted, which is the ride I'm looking for. I also replaced the links, the actual Sway Bar links, because it's the stock ones, they're like plastic end links, right? I replaced it from Sling Mods again with the beefier billet aluminum ones, right? So these don't flex like the plastic, so the steering feels more direct, so to speak. So for me, that was a immediate improvement, and I recommend it anyone who rides two up, right? If you ride two up, or you like going through twisty roads and stuff like that, you're gonna need it, right? Right. One of the next upgrades I did, I plan on doing, is upgrading my shocks, right? As you saw in a lot of my other videos, I bought Elka Stage 2 shocks from La Monster Garage. I actually bought them back in October before I even picked up my machine, but I just never put them on yet, right? I bought 2 for the front and 1 for the rear, right? So I'm excited to see the difference once I install them, right? The stock Can-Am shocks work, they work well for the average riders, but they're not specifically tuned for your riding style or weight. So over time, or with heavier loads, they can compress more, right? Which can lower your ride height and make the bike dive in corners. Right? The Elka Stage 2 shocks are custom tuned. So when you buy them, you got to enter your weight and your riding style. So they're custom tuned for the Spyder. They have thicker coils, better damping, and higher quality internals, right? So what that means is that, you'll get more support in the corners, less diving under load, and they should maintain that ride height even with a passenger, right? So in a nutshell, for me, the Elkas will, I'm hoping that it will make the bike feel tighter, more responsive, and more comfortable, especially for long two-up rides. I read somewhere in one of these forums, it's like going from stock suspension in the car to high-performance setup. You'll get the comfort, right? But you'll get a lot of more control, which is what I'm looking for as well. So, in a nutshell, once the Elkas are on, I'm expecting a more balanced feel when my wife's on the back, right? The front end should stay more level in corners, and the rear should better handle the weight without squatting. So for me, I'm looking for that smoother, better handling, stability on highway speeds, and less effort from me in the steering, right? So I think combined with the Sway Bar link, with the Elka Stage 2 shocks, the bike will feel much more planted, and that's what I'm looking for, right? And that's especially good for nice, long touring days, right? But again, it's a very nice day out here. But my final thoughts, right? The 2024 RT Limited is already a fantastic touring machine. Has heated seats, great wind protection, tons of storage. But if you ride two-up often, right, small suspension upgrades should make a big difference in the comfort and control. So for my takeaway, if you notice more body roll or corner dive with a passenger, Sway Bar Link is a great first step. If you want to take it further, upgrade the shocks, like the Elka Stage 2. I 100% believe they're worth the investment. Right? So again, I'm heading to Assateague Island here. It's a beautiful day. It's under 80 degrees, but it's a great weather to ride. So, and again, I have my wife on the back. Like right now, I barely feel her, right? In these straights, I don't feel her at all. It's when I start leaning into those corners again, that's when I feel her. So, about to come up on Mount Air Farms, right? So Mount Air Farms is, you can see this building right here. It's headquartered right here in Millsboro, Delaware, right? It's, I believe I read it's one of the 4th largest chicken producers in the United States. And I think it has it's up there with Purdue. It has like 10,000 employees across multiple facilities in multiple states. And they produce over 3 billion pounds of chicken annually. That's a lot of chicken. Right? They also export to like a dozen countries worldwide, and one of those countries that they export to is China. But back in April, I was reading in a local magazine, China has suspended chicken imports from Mount Air. Right? They cited some type of safety concern, some type of I don't know how to pronounce it, some type of antibiotic that's banned in China. But here locally in Delaware, Mount Air remains like a massive employer, and for the state, right? So you got to think next time you eat chicken, right? That chicken that ends up on most U.S. plates is raised, processed, and distributed right here in the States, particularly here in Delaware. So just wanted to share that quick fact with you guys. And again, I'm heading down to Assateague Island, riding two-up with my wife. Appreciate you guys tuning in, to the road less traveled, man. It's really a beautiful day out here, man. I love this weather, I was able to wear my my climb jacket, right? So anything below 80 degrees, I can wear my climb jacket, you know, which I like better, you know. So it feels real good out here, man. My wife is happy; she's back there. I just got to make sure she don't go to sleep. So as we, roll south toward Assateague Island, this stretch of the road really shows off why I love riding the Can-Am Spyder RT Limited. The scenery here is awesome, right? Riding through coastal Delaware and Maryland, the scenery changes real fast. 1 minute you're passing farmland and the small towns, and the next you're smelling that like that salty Atlantic air, right? Or a farm or chicken. It could smell real good or smell real bad, right? But again, I'm heading towards Berlin, Maryland. That's where Assateague Island is, right? And you'll get that classic Eastern Shore vibe. A lot of history here, water and wildlife. And Berlin itself, it has been, I read last year, I think, voted one of America's coolest small towns. Now, I don't know how cool it is, but it is a nice little town, right? They have like brick-lined streets. Some spots have little shops and cafes that are perfect for like a quick stop before you hit that Assateague Island. But once we get to Assateague, right, it's a completely different world, right? And if you never heard of Assateague Island, look it up, man. You got kids, definitely take them there. They're famous for its wild ponies that roam right along the beach and the dunes. And you'll see that in this video towards the end. I'm going to show you where I rolled up on the wild horses. They're just out there in the wild, right? And the National Seashore is about as close to untouched nature as you'll find on the East Coast. So riding in, you got the ocean on one side, the bay on the other side, and you got that open sky feeling that makes you slow down and just, makes you want to slow down and just take it all in, So again, that's one of the things I love about this ride, right? It's not just about getting to the destination, the road itself, the smells, the sound. Again, the road less traveled, right? Even the change in the wind when you come over a bridge. Like there's a lot of bridges. Unfortunately, I didn't capture none in this video. But it's all a part of the experience, right? And I know you guys know what I'm talking about because some of you guys, man, out there take wonderful trips, man, and ride throughout the United States, right? And on a Spyder especially, 2 up, it's comfortable enough to enjoy, like, how I want to say it, like enjoy every mile without feeling rushed, right? So I'm gonna sit back a little bit. This guy in front of me, I'm not with, man. It was cool to run into somebody else on the Spyder, right? In just a bit, we'll be crossing into the park, and I'll show you the wild horses, and that'll end my video. But again, man, this is a lovely ride, a lovely day. Glad to see somebody else out on the Spyder. I think it's a nice gentleman. He with his wife. I had pulled up alongside him in a portion of this video that I didn't record, and just chatting with them real quick. But they're going to Assateague Island too. All right, so sit back. Again, this is Eddie, aka DJ Deluxe from The Road Less Traveled. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button, man. And I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful summer. Oh, look at the horse. You got a bit? Yeah, you keep moving. There goes another one, look at it. 2 more. 3. Then turn around up here, see him? Mm-hmm. You recording it? You stop, man, go across the street. across. They just walking like, oh, daddy. Look, they just up there. Don't leave me, man. Hey, look at that. Hey, you probably scared, man. Hey, you probably, yeah. I know, you probably like, ooh. Yeah. See, you see all this space? I'll take off. Not that they can't catch us. Yeah, I'm gonna turn around the next spot.